Good morning. Welcome back to the day after signing day. I sure hope my mic is on. I didn't even do a mic check. So I hope everyone's hearing me. But good morning to everybody. I should have done that. Um, man, what a fantastic day. It's Rodolfo. Rodolfo, it's too early for all that. What a fantastic day yesterday was for everybody. No, Rodolfo, I had to drop my kid off at school. I wish it was something as fun as that, but no. Yesterday was a fantastic day. Obviously, on the 40 acres, we're going to get into all the things that happened yesterday. We got a football game that's coming up this weekend. Like we all of a sudden we forgot about the damn football game, but there's kind of is a huge football game going on in Atlanta that we need to focus in on again, shift our attention back. We didn't ever had a chance. I'm reading the comments and I'm gonna stop because y'all are on one already. I don't know what moon is out there, but the moon is out there because I can tell y'all are on one. And then of course we never talked about the CFP rankings from the other day. Like we literally just skipped out on that. So we got to talk about that as well. We're gonna have our prize pick show at 10 o'clock today. So I mean we got a lot going on. We got much to discuss. I was trying to get SEC Mike on today, but yeah, he couldn't do it today. And then he's traveling to Atlanta tomorrow, so I'll get him on next week. I know I did a show with him before the season where he said if Texas got to the conference championship game, something like that, that he would do something. I think he was going to like shave his mustache or dye it burnt orange or something to that effect. So I need to make sure I get it. Hold on one second. And then somebody asked me, lemon pepper wings. Did I catch the Friday reference? Hold on. What did you say, Money B? Let me go up here before we get started. You know what? It's not showing on my end, Money B. So I apologize if it was a little bit earlier. Say it again though, because I'm Friday and next Friday. Friday part 3 though is trash though. I don't understand why we did it. There was definitely no need for that. I think they talk about doing another one too. They keep talking about trying to do another one. Anyway, all right, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Good morning to everybody. Come on in. Good morning to Stephanie, my Cedar Park neighbor. Money B's in the house. I see Chris Bennett is in here. DC is in here, of course. Sandman is here in the house as well. Of course, Rodolfo with all his jokes is in here. Tyler, I saw you as well. Good morning to everybody. If I missed you, I'll get you on the second go around. Don't you worry about that. And Tyler, yes, the Opinion Sports Show did pay up. He sent me the money over the weekend. So tomorrow, we will do a shot of tequila on the Opinion Sports Show. $50. Took his money once again. Second straight year, I took his money. It's like taking candy from a baby or taking $50 from an OU fan. All right. So we obviously, as everyone knows, signing day was yesterday. Texas finishes strong. They don't get facetious, which, in hindsight, hey, you only miss what they say. You miss 100%. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So they took their shot. They didn't make it, but that's okay. We'll see him next year in the transfer portal. I'm sorry. No disrespect to the Fasusi family. We'll see you next. We've been through this before. We had it happen with Micah Hudson. We'll see you next year. We'll see you next year. Good luck. Go ahead. Do what you gotta do. Get your money, and we'll see you next year. But also overall, good luck to you and the family. Of course, except when you guys play against Texas. So let's go through what the rankings ended up looking at. And I'll be honest with you, y'all ain't going to like them. And you know why you're not going to like them? And I'm going to put a full screen of it anyway. You're not going to like it because Texas finishes fourth in the rivals rankings. and I understand that they are first in the 24/7 rankings and first in on three. So, of course, as a Texas fans, I get it. You're going you're going to say, well, the hell with rivals, because of course you're going to go with the higher rank. I would too. So I get it. But because I'm employed and under the umbrella of rivals, not employed by rivals, employed by Orange Bloods, but because I'm under the rivals umbrella, I am contractually obligated to show you our rankings before risk pissing off everybody. So in our rivals rankings, Texas finishes fourth. So just humor me. Just humor me. Just humor me. Oregon, Georgia, finishing number 2, Ohio State at number 3, Texas at 4, Bama at 5. What you can see, which is just evident, a heavy SEC presence in the top 10. You're talking Georgia, Texas, Bama, LSU, Auburn, crazy enough, A&M, Florida. 7 out of the top 10 are SEC programs. That's crazy. But that's just kind of what you sign up for, right? I mean, that's kind of what you sign up for when you say you're going to be in the SEC. Well, this is what this thing entails. So, if you're Texas, obviously, again, a couple of spots behind Georgia in the rivals rankings. I get it. Let's just see. Yep. So even with Fasusi, Oklahoma finishes 17th in the rankings. I just wanted to see. By the way, USC at number 15. Did you see the report? I think it was either yesterday or the day before that UCF has inquired about Lincoln Riley. Now we're about to get into that season, right? Now that signing day is over, we're about to get into that season where people are going to start, coaches are going to start, they're going to dip. I want you to be loyal to the program. And then on, the day after signing day, they're like, I'm out. I got to go. I found another program. So I find it interesting, though, because I'm curious as to, a lot of times how this thing happens. Take behind the veil, like I always like to do. Someone leaks that out. And usually something like this might be the agent that would have leaked that out. And I'm like, is Lincoln Riley looking for a soft landing spot and UCF is it for him? By the way, if you're USC, anything that can get you out of the rest of that contract with him, you would absolutely gladly take. But I just found that to be interesting. I don't know. I just sidebarred that. My spidey senses went up. And I was like, that something about this don't add up. I'm not feeling that. Anyway, if you go to the 2025, just the SEC rankings, obviously one and the same, right? Just making it a little bit individual. They've got Georgia, Bama, and LSU. Wait a second. Hold on. I gotta do some math here. What did I miss? Did I hold on? What did I miss? Okay, Bama was at 4. I apologize. Okay, I missed Bama at 4 originally because I was like, what in the hell just happened? I totally glossed over them. Well, if that's a fascinating one. Anyway, so Georgia, Bama, Texas. Again, depending on where you want to go, you go for your rankings. I'm a rivals person, so I got to tell you, I gotta be a company man, and so I can get paid. So let Unc make his money. You can say what you want to say in the comments, though. You're free to do that. LSU, Auburn, A&M, Tennessee, Florida. The great part about this for these programs, though, regardless of it, though, even when you look at these rankings, the transfer portal is still your great equalizer, even with all these rankings are concerned. Like, this is cool. I get it. But at the end of the day, all these teams have a chance to make up for it in the transfer portal. Damn, Vanderbilt. Damn, they only had 13 commits. Golly. Damn, Vandy. 1 4-star, though. That's a good part. A bunch of 12 3-stars. Damn. Well, they're going to have to definitely go in the transfer portal. Vandy needs to start finding like all the elite And I say that in air quotes, like Ivy League kids and stuff. They've also lowered their standards a little bit to make it easier for guys to get in there. Anyway, that's what the rest of the top 16, I guess all the 16 teams look like as relates to that. So I want to make sure I shared that with you guys. I catch back up. All right, and put you guys back up here. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Okay. Big Chris. Hey, Big Chris, listen, dude. I ain't hating. I am not hating. I 100% understand why you would do that. Hey, okay, so here's a couple of things. I want to make sure I go over a couple of things with y'all. One of the things, I want you to put this on your calendar. Okay, I was always looking out for you. This is crazy though. We talk about the SEC. I want to transition to this. Put this on your calendar because next week the SEC is actually going to release the 2025 football schedule. It will be on the SEC network. I want you, so now listen to your uncle. Listen to me. All right, I'm gonna put you on game. All y'all, I'm gonna put you on game. Okay. Here's why this is important. Because obviously, of course, it's a schedule, right? But this is what I need y'all to do. I need you when the schedule comes out. Okay. This is when you have to start making your hotel reservations. Listen, what happens is, if those of you who are smart understand it, let's say for like Texas OU weekend, you know they jack up the hotel prices for that weekend, right? You get, as soon as this thing is released, boom, make your hotel reservations. I'm talking about make them. And for the places that you want to like, so all these SEC programs, and this is what someone's explained to me, all these SEC schools. So when you travel, you got to understand that we're going into smaller cities, right? Smaller cities. So think of it like Texas Tech and Lubbock, right? Think about it like that. Hotel prices get jacked up. I'm talking about jacked up. So now it's like $500 a night. However, if you book it right away, as soon as the schedule comes out, you get in on it low before they start to jack it up, before Marriott and everybody else realizes like, oh, okay, now Texas is coming to town. We need to do all the other. So make sure when you watch, I want you to watch it, of course. But the main thing, the reason I'm setting making sure you know about it is make sure you book your stuff that night. So this way, when we go to these smaller cities, you're not worrying about it. I'm just want to let y'all know about that. Okay, so I want to make sure I put y'all on game as far as that is concerned. Book your stuff, especially like on Marriott. I'm a Marriott person. I know what you guys are. Marriott, you just book it, you just do it without a fee, and then you don't have to pay like deposits and all that other kind of stuff. I'm just trying to help you out. Trying to help out my family here. Hope you guys are hitting the like button as well. All right, so which one do I want to do? You know what I want to do first? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'll get this. I don't even want to know what y'all doing in the chat. So I'm gonna give you my final power rankings. I saw somebody talk about giving someone sneakers or something. I'm like, all right, let me just stay out y'all's business. I don't know what y'all talking about. Let me just stay out your business. Let y'all do what y'all do over there. All right, so here ends up being my final power rankings of the college football season. Vanderbilt was on the top at one point, but I think should be no real. Oh, what I want to find though? I want to find this to share this with you though. Hold on one second. Let me find. This is a good one. I saw this yesterday. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna cue this up too. I'm glad I talked it out with you. Okay, so obviously I got Texas as number one. I don't think anyone has any problem with that. Georgia at number two. Obviously, that's pretty easy. Tennessee at number three. And then, of course, we got South Carolina at number 4 as well. I'll save the South Carolina thing for when we get to the conference stuff as well. Ole Miss at 5, easy work. Alabama, I don't know. I just don't love Alabama the way that everybody else does. Maybe it's just me, but I just look at Alabama with slight judgment. They lost to Vanderbilt. I don't. Okay, Tennessee's a quality loss. They also lost to Oklahoma. I just look at 2 of the 3 losses where I'm like, man, that's not a playoff team to me, and I don't really view them as one of the elite in the SEC. But they are what they are. And then, and I know we'll get to the committee portion of it, and they'll talk about where they got to win against Georgia, they got to win against Missouri, they got to win against LSU. So they'll talk about some of these quality wins, but them losses are hard for me to overcome. But that's why I got Bama at number 6. Florida finishes a little bit better than they started for me at 7. They kind of close out strong. And then it did really well from a recruiting standpoint. So maybe Florida will be back before we know it. Then there is, of course, Texas A&M, LSU, and of course, Missouri, a team that I just don't like. I just don't like them. I like them less than I like than Bama. My issue with Missouri, when it's all said and done, and their rankings, I hadn't really felt like they beat anybody worth much when that season was concerned. Like they beat, like this is Missouri's wins: Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, Vanderbilt, UMass, Auburn, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, Arkansas. I just whatever. They got to play somebody, but yeah. Arkansas at 11. OU, I think I had them a little bit lower. I moved them up just a tad. Lucky for them that they became bowl eligible, but they did lose to LSU. And of course, that the last couple of weeks that solidified my bet with Money B, who I probably won't see for a little while. But we'll see. He'll be back at some point. Vanderbilt, of course, as you can see, Auburn, Kentucky, and Mississippi State. Kentucky, to hell with you. I thought Kentucky might be an upset team, and Kentucky, to hell with you, and the horse you rode in on. All right, so that happened, right? So we got that. So I just want to get through my power rankings, right? All right. So then let's get into the interesting part here. So then we end up with the college football rankings from this past week. Again, we had so much stuff going on with signing day that you and we did not even have the conversation about it on Tuesday. On Wednesday. Like we this came out on Tuesday night, and then next thing you knew it was Wednesday, and we're like, shh, it's signing day. So we literally skipped over it. So we'll get into it a little bit today. Oregon, obviously, at the top spot. Texas, no problem there. Penn State, obviously. Notre Dame at the 4. Georgia at the 5. Ohio State, followed by Ohio State at number 6. They drop. They lost to Michigan. That's the thing. You can talk about, Texas don't play anybody. And this is, the thing about Texas that's different than everybody else in the country pretty much this year is that pretty much everybody else in the country has a loss that they probably should not have on their resume. And Texas is the only team, or one of the only teams, I would say. I won't say the only team, but I'll say, how about this? One of the few teams that has a loss that you could actually say, well, that makes sense, is Georgia. Everybody else trips up against all these other programs. Everybody else has stubbed their toe, just about everybody else. And Texas is one of those few programs that you can look at and say, they don't have the Vanderbilt loss. So they don't have the Kentucky loss, or they don't have these losses where you look at it and say, man, how the hell did that happen? You look at one loss and say, they lost against a damn good Georgia team that's ranked number 5. And that's it. Tennessee, SMU, SMU has definitely risen to the top. Indiana, That's a shoulder shrug there. Boise State. And you go all the way down to, you got Bama 12, and Miami, Bama 11, Miami 12. And the real interesting thing about this is that for the most part, this is it. The Big 12 winner will get into the championship game, right? At least we'll get into the playoffs. And at the end of the day, this is pretty much going to be it. The committee has said that they don't really have another data point to help other teams teams get in. So you've got, so basically when Arizona State and Iowa State play in the Big 12 championship game on Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, ABC. That's it. That's it for the Big 12, which I'm sure you guys are so sad for their loss. I'm sure you guys are crying tears, just tears of, oh, I can't believe that the poor Big 12. Like I know you guys are there. So hold on. So before I want to show y'all something real quick and then we're going to come back to this ranking here. Who is drunk? Richard, are you really drunk in the morning? Are you drunk in the morning? If you're drunk in the morning, Richard, one thing, you need to be at an all-inclusive resort and you just got a bunch of mimosas. I'll accept that. 2, you got some really good news and I'll accept that. 3, but if it's none of that, then we need to talk about getting you some help because it's too early for that. Not too early to have a drink, too early to be drunk. All right, so Shane Beamer was kind of asked about this yesterday, and I thought this is kind of an interesting thing to share with you guys on what Shane Beamer's talked about here.
I might take a couple days, but when you kind of look at all the vagueness of what the committee decides and how they can have one priority one year, not one the next, does that influence you in any way going forward? Do you talk with whoever the next AD is about changes?
If you're asking, is there anything to gain by playing in some of these games that you play out of conference? I think it's something that not just us, but every team needs to look at, because clearly you can go through an entire season, not beat a ranked team, and be in the playoff if you just win. So I think it's something. I'm a competitor. I love playing in those games. I'm looking forward to playing Virginia Tech and Atlanta next season, but the committee made it very clear that they really don't give a hoot who you beat. Just, don't lose 3 times and you're in, even if it means you never beat a ranked opponent. Not one. Don't beat a ranked opponent, but just win the games on your schedule and you're in. They made a pretty strong statement about that. Absolutely.
Well, there you go. You think he's a little salty? I think he's a little salty. But look, I his point. I get. The issue for them, and look, I feel like they have the strongest case. They've lost South Carolina. They have 3 losses, but they've lost to LSU, they've lost to Ole Miss, and they've lost to Bama. Now, the Ole Miss thing is 27-3, but LSU is 36-33. Alabama is 27-5. And since then, they've defeated Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Wofford, and beat Clemson. If there's anybody who should be salty about this, it should definitely be South Carolina. And I will tell you this. Now I'm back on my thing again, because I've always questioned, like, okay, does it benefit you to play a tough schedule, tough non-conference schedule? And now you're looking at it, you're like, probably not. Just be Indiana or some of these other teams. Just win, stack your dubs. So I get it, but I feel like if anybody has a right to be a little salty right now, I think it's him. I think it's absolutely South Carolina. I think it's every reason to be salty. Now, the only bad part for him is that they lost to Bama. So if it's a choice between Bama and South Carolina, well, the issue is going to become head to head. But if it's eye test, well, South Carolina passes the eye test for me. Anyway, I'll say that for the South Carolina YouTube channel. Iowa, Arizona State, and fighting Brian Carrington's or playing in the championship game. Winning between these two teams, 15 and 16 will get in. Clemson is that they're at the 17th spot. All the rest of these teams are pretty much out. Everybody's pretty much out. They're ranked, but basically, you have to go into this weekend thinking to yourself, the only way there's huge movement within the top 10, 12, and these are rankings. We'll get into the playoff brackets in a second. The only way anything really happens, one of these teams got to really get blown out. If you get blown out, you're probably in trouble. If you don't get blown out, you're going to be okay. And this is why I kept telling folk and trying to explain to people, because people, but even when like Lane Kiffin was saying stuff, well, I've talked to some coaches, and some coaches said, like, we think like it doesn't benefit you to be in the conference championship game, even though Lane doesn't talk like that. But it doesn't benefit you to be in the conference championship game because if you lose, then you can be out. No. You get in, and then everything's basically about the seeding. But if you get in the conference championship game, you're pretty much going to be in, with the exception, let's say, this Arizona, Iowa State kind of thing, because they're outside the top 12. Outside of that, pretty much everybody else is going to be in. Like, this is pretty much it. So, like, if you go to the bracket, and this is why it's important, you just got to make the game. Just make the game. And you'll be okay. And by the way, Lane, you said all that, and you really solidified that you wasn't going to be in the conference championship game by losing another game, and that kind of killed your season. So, I guess mission accomplished. I don't know. Point proven. I guess. I don't know. Oregon, if the season ended today, Oregon would be hosting in the Rose Bowl. We would be going to New Orleans again for the Sugar Bowl. You'd have SMU in the Peach Bowl, and then of course you have Boise in the Fiesta. And again, the number one seed, they kind of rank that one from a geographical standpoint. So try to have the closest one. So Oregon, obviously, Rose Bowl makes sense, right? Sugar Bowl there. Peach Bowl, that's to be the closest one for SMU, followed by the Fiesta Bowl. By the way, props to the state of Texas. Props to the state of Texas. You got Texas joining the ACC, and then you've got SMU joining the ACC, and SMU is like, damn it, you don't even got to pay us. Just let us be in this thing. And these two state of Texas programs in new conferences just doing the damn thing. So shout out to the state of Texas. I'm just saying. I'm a Texan now. I pay taxes here, so I can say that too. I still got my Florida roots, but I pay my taxes here. My kids go to school here, so I'm gonna claim it all. So that would look like your top there, with now, which would be horrible, by the way, if Texas would play Georgia in the conference championship game and then have to do this again. 3 times in one season. No one wants to see that. But Georgia and Indiana, I think everybody be rooting for Indiana at that point, because no one wants to see Georgia again. And by the way, the commission was asked about Texas. And I didn't want to play the whole thing because there's a lot of last week. I thought there was a lot of things relevant to Texas. This week, not so much. But Ward Manuel was asked, if Georgia wins on Saturday, would it be simple and logical to just flip their spots and move Georgia to number 2 and Texas to 7? Or is it more complicated than that? And Ward says, he goes, well, Ward, by the way, sometimes talks in circles. He goes, I don't know if it's more complicated. It's just going to be a conversation about the results of the game and where we see those teams based on the outcome of the game. So it's not as simple as just saying flip them. Other teams are playing. There's other outcomes of games, but we will evaluate the results of the championship game between Texas and Georgia and then assess where those teams will fall and be ranked in the top 25. I mean, okay, he says that, but at the end of the day, they'll probably just flip him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to keep Texas there? You're not going to keep Texas in the number 2 spot if they lose. And then look, at the end of the day, so no. But let's just hope that we don't have to worry about a Texas loss. Even though I'm probably going to predict the Georgia win, and if I do, I would like a judgment-free zone from y'all. You'd have Ohio State versus Tennessee in the first round. So everything outside of that, by the way, is first-round games that will take place the weekend of December 20th. So you have Ohio State versus Tennessee with the winner plays facing Oregon. You've had Alabama versus Notre Dame. And then realistically, people start talking about the 5 seed usually has the best route. 5 seed versus Arizona State, though. A winner going to face a Boise State with Miami being out, Ole Miss being out as well. Texas. And again, that's cool for everybody else. Texas just needs to handle their business when it's all said and done. That's all. Just handle your business. Handle Georgia. Get that number 2 seed. We'll all go to New Orleans. Have a great time. That's what we need to focus on as far as that is concerned. All right. Couple quick things because I do have to get out of here. Let me make sure I show this graphic just because he made it, and I just want to make sure I show Tyler's graphic. Okay. All right, real quick. Let me take Tyler's graphic off real quick. I got a couple more things that I want to make sure I show you that's there. All right, no free passes for picking the dogs. Listen. I need a pass. Let me just listen. We're going to do our prize pick show in a second. But just the real talk for a second. How do you expect me to pick a team that lost to them? Like, they lost to Georgia by 15 points. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. I want Texas to win, so we clear. I want Texas to win. It makes my life easier, makes your life easier. All of that. That's what I want to happen. But that being said, they did lose by 15 points. So I'm not quite sure what I'm be basing the comeback on. We'll talk about that more in the next 30 minutes. Eric Sells Homes DFW. Times to don't listen. It's holiday time. You think to yourself, man, I might make some moves next year. Eric Sells Homes DFW. Make sure you check my main man out. Make sure you check out El Presidente himself. Let him know that your favorite unc sent you. Looking to buy a home, looking to sell a home. You're telling yourself, man, I'm making goals. You're starting to write down your vision boards and all that kind of stuff. I know you're a vision board person. These are the ladies that have some vision boards. Maybe a vision board person. But whatever it is, you tell yourself you want to buy a house. Eric Sells Homes, DFW. He will make sure he takes care of you. Make sure you let him know. Check out his Yelp reviews. And then after that, do what I'm going to do. Go to Specs, celebrate.
Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to savings.
And cheers to you guys as well. Hope everyone's doing good. A lot of y'all in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. All right, let's go back to this one. My PowerPoint. Oh, yeah, by the way, didn't let y'all know. If you're looking for something to do on Saturday, there will be a watch party at the TCH Social. Dollar Draft Beers, $2 jellyfish. If you mention Orange Blood, you get a monthly membership for $1. First hour or play on TCH. And by the way, this is kind of a cool spot to go to because they try to make it like a Vegas, kind of like a Vegas sports book. So just a big place. They say the food's good. I can't wait to go there. I'm working every weekend, so I never get a chance to go there. So I'm looking forward to, especially during bowl season. Jason and I are going to hang out. But by the way, I just want to say this though. Dollar Draft Beers, $2 jellyfish, great prices. Please get a ride. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, whatever it is. If you're going to be drinking like that, because $1 beers is great. But if you're going to do 3-4 of them things, Uncle's just asking you, please do an Uber. Now, I'm because I tell y'all to do this all the time. I'm trying to. This actually made me more conscious about getting Ubers everywhere. So anyway, if you're looking for something to do on Saturday, you want to be around some kinfolk, that's a place to go and check out. We got our first injury report came out yesterday. The main thing that we're looking at obviously is going to be Kelvin Banks. Nothing else really changes as it relates to them. It's really about Kelvin Banks and how he's going. Steve Sarkisian is going to give the media an update around 12:30 today Central Time, if I'm correct. Or maybe it's 11:30. I gotta go back and look at the email. Trust me, I'll be on top of that. And I'm also going to check in with some folks to see how Kelvin Banks is doing. Alex Dunlap did some grades on Trevor Gooseby. He graded out extremely well. But in any case, that's the Texas injury report. And then, of course, you could see where Georgia is at. You can see, obviously, I can't pronounce. I'm not going to even try to pronounce old boy's last name, Joseph Jonah, and I don't got it. But Trevor Etienne is questionable. Branson Robinson, Chelsea Bowers, and of course Christian Miller, all questionable. We'll see what happens as far as those folks are concerned. And then just kind of a preliminary look. I'm going to get more into this tomorrow. I'm going to try to get old boy who I had on last time, who y'all loved his curtains, Dash. I think I'm going to try to get Dash on the show tomorrow. He wanted to go. I think he wants to come on too. He had a good time. So I'm going to get Dash on the show tomorrow, and we're going to break down a little bit more of Georgia. So actually, when I get done with the show, I'm going to message Dash as well. But I want to make sure, just a preliminary, just a close look. We'll do more of this tomorrow. We'll do a little bit of a deeper dive in here. But I want to make sure you guys see, again, from a statistical standpoint, Texas has a better quote unquote total offense, 450 yards averaging versus 425. Again, Georgia's rushing offense isn't even as good. Whatever you think the Texas rushing offense is, Georgia's rushing offense isn't not that great as well. The passing offense a little bit better for Georgia. I have to see what the turnovers looks like. Scoring offense just about even. Texas has a better defense on paper. Georgia's ranked 35. Texas is ranked 3. This is that. I don't like to use the rat poison term, but there's that rat poison because I fell for this crap last week, a few weeks ago, and I was like, look at Texas. They're better than Georgia in all these categories. And then that happened. I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. But you can see third down conversion is better. Texas is better. Red zone offense. That's a little bit shocking that Georgia's red zone offense is ranked 9th and Texas's red zone offense is ranked 88th. Didn't see that one coming. Red zone defense, though, Texas is really good. I don't even want to look at punts. Like, shit. Golly. I mean, 44 yards. And that Georgia punting was punting the hell out the ball, too. You remember that? 44 yards a punt versus 35. Yeah. Whew. That I got to get addressed in the offseason. You got to see the first down, a little bit of a difference there. Penalty yards, kind of in the same neighborhood as far as fewest penalties per game. And in time of possession, as you can see there, Texas around 54th, with Georgia about 68th. Again, for the most part, Texas is better than Georgia in all the categories. But at the end of the day, we looked at all those numbers. We said that last time, and Georgia ended up being a little bit better in the category that mattered the most, which was the win column. And let's be hopeful and optimistic that we don't have to deal with that part again. Let me one more again go through here. There's a super chat that went through. So let me make sure it gets here. My man Tracy. T-Will. Can you really see the CFP committee pairing Texas versus Georgia to play each other again in 2 weeks? That's if Texas doesn't get a dub on Saturday. I don't know where Texas falls to if they lose. The thing with I'm gonna tell you, Tracy, man, and I'm not trying to. Sometimes the committee don't make a lot of sense to me. So, yeah, I can see anything. Quite honestly, like the committee, don't forget it's the same committee who, like a couple of years ago, TCU loses in the conference championship game and they didn't move out the 4th spot. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't want to see them again. But the committee they're also going to do intriguing games. And the committee is also going to try to make money. Where's the money to be made? Well, there's probably more money, unfortunately, Tracy, in seeing Texas versus Georgia again than there would be in Texas versus a Boise, for instance. I'm just throwing out different teams like Boise or Indiana or some of these other teams that are there. Like, no, like now I'd rather see like Texas versus SMU. But again, how's that whole thing going to shape up? I don't know. Yeah, it'd be real interesting. Let's say SMU. What does it would look like if SMU wins and Georgia wins? Do they put SMU in the Sugar Bowl potentially? And then Georgia's now in the Peach, which probably would make a little bit more sense if I talk it out like that. It would probably make way more sense of what I just said. You just taught me into that. Yeah, I think they would do. I think they'd move SMU to New Orleans. I think they'd move Georgia over to the Peach, and I think then you have Texas in the bracket that would face SMU later. Yes, that would be the most likely scenario, Tracy. There you go. See, sometimes I just gotta talk me through. And then Tracy came back again. He goes, "Oh Lord, if we have a 32-team CFP, people will be salty." People get salty during March Madness with 68 teams. Now, that's true. The simple solution is just to win your damn games. Amen. You're 100% correct about that, Tracy. People will complain about it. I still think South Carolina has a case. However, because of the head-to-head, I totally get it. There's always going to be somebody left out. However, I like the 12 team. I could, if they go 16, that'd be my limit. Anything past that is just watered down. 16, I might be able to deal with, but the 12 team has made every single game interesting. The 12 team has made every single game interesting towards the end of the year. We all have been watching tons of football games towards the end of the year. And so 12 teams I'm good with. Ruben, mi amigo. Let's see. Unc, CBS crews have zero respect for UT and think UGA will dominate our O-line. I think it's more likely our D dominates Georgia all game. What say you? Well, here, Ruben, they're basing it off what they saw. I mean, it happened. It happened. My worry, Ruben, of this going into this weekend is that sometimes styles make fights. That's my worry. That's my concern. And sometimes styles make fights. I'm concerned that Georgia may have a style that doesn't match up as well against Texas. Does the D-line dominate Georgia? I can see that. I mean, this D-line's playing extremely well. Here's my big fear, Ruben. My fear is that Carson Beck and this defense forced Carson Beck to have one of his worst games of the season, probably one of the worst games of his career. And they still won. Is Carson Beck going to have a 77 passer rating again and 3 interceptions? I don't know if he's going to repeat it and be that bad. So my concern is they played a horrible game and still was able to win. So what happens if they're less than horrible? I'm not saying, because I don't expect Texas to be as bad offensively as they were before. But that's my biggest concern is what kind of adjustments can Texas really have made and will be able to make. That's what concerns me, Ruben. And so I don't know if they're being disrespectful. All I would say to that is, Ruben, Texas lost by 15 points. You're going to have to take that until you earn it. You earn it, then you can go back and say y'all disrespected us. For right now, when your team loses by 15 points to a team, yeah, people are going to give the other team more of the benefit of the doubt than actually you're going to than you or I would do that. And by the way, I hear what South Enzo Queen says, but I will say this. Also remember, basically that game against Georgia is going to be pretty much a home game for them. Texas fans will travel, don't get me wrong, but that's going to be in Atlanta. You'll have more Atlanta, Georgia fans in there. So it's going to be a home game for them. So that's going to be interesting. I know Texas does well against the road, but again, this is going to be a 4-0 thing. Again, I'm hoping and I'm praying that that Texas pulls that thing out. I just want to make sure that I don't miss any more super chats. Doesn't look like I did. All right, so now within the next 10 minutes, y'all, I'll be back. I'll be back for the Prize Pick show, so y'all get ready for that. Remember what I always say, live each day like it was your last. One day it will be. Go out and do something nice for yourself. I know it's the holiday time. You think about what to do for everybody else. Don't forget yourself. Do something nice for yourself because you absolutely do deserve it. Here we go, the intro for the outro. One day we'll change it.